Hello, and welcome to today's yoga class. This is going to be a fitness yoga class, so it should pump up your heart rate. We'll also have some nice stretches and flows, but kind of a bit more reps, so it's going to work on your mobility through the movements. It's still very beginner friendly. We don't go through any crazy postures. We just do reps and work on our muscles in fluid movements. So with that being said, let's start at the top of our mat. We're just going to start with a warm-up. Also, sorry if I'm breathing heavy at all. It's fitness for me as well. So we're just going to do 4 rounds of sun salutation A to start. So standing at the top of your mat, make sure your feet are hip-width apart, your heels directly beneath your hips, tuck your tailbone, roll your shoulders back, draw your belly in towards your spine, your hands out wide, fingers spread, crown of your head reaching tall. We'll just take a few breaths just to ground us, to bring ourselves into this moment, forgetting anything else that happened in our day, anything else we need to do with our day. For these however many minutes, we're going to be here right now. Inhale, rise your arms up towards the sky, stretch tall onto tippy toes. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, coming down into that forward fold. So this is our first forward fold of the day. So we're just going to take it easy. Maybe bend your knees from side to side or front to back. Just easing up into the hamstrings here. You can have your hands on the ground or on your shins. Anywhere. You can have them on your upper thighs, just not on your knees. That'll put too much pressure on them. Maybe find stillness now, reaching your tailbone up towards the sky. Letting your crown of your head hang heavy. Inhale as you plant your hands to take a halfway lift. Actually, you can have your hands on your shins again. It doesn't have to be planted. The crown of your head is reaching tall towards the front of the room, and your tailbone is still towards the sky. Plant your hands, and then just step back into the top of a plank position. Check in with your alignment here. Make sure your hands are directly beneath your shoulders. Your heels are reaching back. Your belly button is drawing in towards your spine. Try to not press around through the shoulders. Try and just make your body one straight line. Inhale as you shift forward, bringing your shoulders in front of your fingertips. You'll come up onto your tips of your toes this way. And then we're going to exhale down through chaturanga. So try and keep your elbows in towards your ribs. Flip onto the tops of your feet, and then inhale into your upward facing dog. So you're pressing down through the tops of your feet, rolling your shoulders back and down your spine. You can lower onto your upper thighs and take cobra here, or stay keeping your upper thighs off the mat into your upward facing dog. That's a little much on my lower back right now, so I'm just going to be in cobra. Tuck your toes, and as you exhale, press your hips back and up, pushing out through your hands, finding your way into downward dog. Readjust your feet, your stance, push out from your hands, so you're extending your shoulders and not collapsing down. Your tailbone's reaching towards the sky. See if your heels can reach towards the ground. And again, you're welcome to take some bumps and bends in here, maybe bending your knees, walking your dog, or dipping your hips from side to side. This really opens up into your side body a little bit more. Just whatever feels good. Or you can stay in stillness. This first round of sun salutation is just to ease into all the muscles, and then our next 3 rounds are going to be to build the heat. Take one last nice breath here. And on your next inhale, bend your knees, look forward, and then step or hop, spring to the top of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift, your tailbone reaching towards the sky, your gaze is forward. And then exhale, fold. Grab opposite elbows, letting your body weight swing you down, maybe swing side to side. still reaching your tailbone up, and you can have a slight bend in your knees or keep them straight. Just really trying to release into your lower spine. Find stillness. Release your hands. Bend your knees. Inhale, rise up. All the way to standing. Maybe come onto your tippy toes. And then exhale, hands to your side. Find Tadasana, mountain pose. Check in with your alignment, rolling your shoulders back. Crown of your head still reaching tall. And we'll do 3 more rounds. The next one kind of faster. And then the last 2 fast. So inhale, rise, arms up. And exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Your gaze is forward. Plant your hands, exhale, step or hop back to the top of the plank. Shift your weight forward, lower down through chaturanga, or take knees, chest, and chin. And then inhale, find your way into upward facing dog. Rolling your shoulders back, pressing down through the tops of your feet. Tuck toes, exhale, press back into downward facing dog. We'll take 3 nice breaths here. So inhale, filling your belly all the way. And then exhale nice and slowly. I always like to treat my exhales twice as long as my inhales. So if I inhale for 3 counts, exhale for 6. On your next inhale, bend your knees, look forward. And exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to your side. Inhale, rise, arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands. Exhale, step or hop back to the top of the plank. Shift lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tuck toes. Exhale, press back down facing dog. Take 1 breath. Inhale, bend knees, look forward. And exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise arms up. Swing with it. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, your gaze is forward. Plant your hands. Exhale, step or hop. Lower down through chaturanga and inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press back into down dog. And take 1 breath here. Inhale, bend knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to your side. Maybe bring your hands in towards your chest into prayer. Close down the eyes, take 1 breath here. Notice if you feel, whatever you feel, if any more parts of your body are activated, if your breath is deeper, quicker. And we'll keep going. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant hands. Exhale, step or hop back to the top of a plank. Shift forward. Exhale, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale into down dog. We're going to take our right foot and step it forwards between our hands on your next inhale. And then rise up into a high lunge. So I like to sit up and then sink down into my hips, wrapping my right hip back, my left hip forward, sitting here in this high lunge. Roll your shoulders back, crown of your head reaching tall. Draw your belly in towards your spine. And then pivot on your left foot. So you're placing the inner arch of your left foot in line with the heel of your right foot. And bring your arms out in front of you. You're in warrior 2 now. Your front right knee is bent and your left leg is straight. Your shoulders are back down, not reaching up towards your ears. Lower them down, stretching long through your hands. Inhale, straighten your front right leg. Pull your body forward to the top of the mat. And then exhale, hinge at the hips and bring your right hand towards your right ankle, your left hand towards the sky into your triangle pose. You can have your hand holding your shin, That'll kind of take more of the weight into your legs rather than your core. Or you can have your hand kind of hovering and try and hold your body in triangle pose with your core. On your next exhale, you're going to bend your right knee, coming back kind of into your warrior two, but then put your right elbow on your right knee and reach your left arm overhead. You can also have your right hand down on the ground. That'll just bring you a bit deeper into the hips here, but you can stay up on the knee. So try and pull your left hand really far, like it's being stretched towards the front of the room. And with your feet, you want to pull the mat apart. So your right foot is pulling or pushing towards the front, and your left foot is pushing towards the back. That'll help you activate through your thighs. On your next exhale, your left hand is going to swing back towards your left leg, and your right hand is going to come overhead. So we're in a reverse warrior two here. Your front right knee is still bent at 90 degrees. And your legs are still pushing away from each other. Exhale, swing forward back into that extended side angle. If you want more in your core, bring both arms out long in front of you. So a little bit easier is having your elbow on your knee, but if you really want, bring them out long. Inhale, swing back into your reverse warrior, and exhale, swing out to your extended side angle. Inhale, swing back, reverse warrior, and exhale, extended side angle. You might start to feel this in swing back in your thigh or in your core. Just move with your breath here. Swing back and forward. All right, bring your left hand down towards the mat. Same with your right. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Shift forward and take a vinyasa. So lowering down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale into your down dog. Take a few breaths here and see if you can notice any difference between the way your right leg and your left leg is feeling. If it's feeling more open in the stretch, if you're just feeling the burn, or if you're not feeling anything. Hopefully you're feeling something. On your next inhale, you're going to bring your left leg forwards towards the front of the mat in between your hands, and then sit up into your high lunge with your left leg forward. Check in with your hips, wrap your left hip back a little bit, and your right hip forward. Your left knee is bent at 90 degrees. Your right leg is straight. Draw your core in, the act of pulling your belly button in towards the back of your spine. It's not like it actually happens, but it engages your core and just reminds you to activate through your core. Take one more breath here. And on your next exhale, rotate onto the inner arch of your right foot. So your right ankle is in line with your right arch of your foot is in line with the left heel. Bring your arms out long in front of you, setting up into your warrior two. Drop the shoulders, reach the arms out long, gaze over your left fingers, and sink into that left hip. Take one more breath here. And then inhale, straighten your left leg. Reach out long towards the front of the mat, and then hinge at the hips, coming into your triangle pose. Your right arm is reaching towards the sky, and your left hand is coming towards your left calf, towards the ground, or hovering if you want to really work into your core a little bit more. Rotate or kind of draw your right shoulder back a little bit, so you're opening up your chest towards the right edge of your mat. Exhale, bend your left knee. Find your left elbow on top of your left knee and bring your right arm out overhead, coming into that extended side angle. We'll just sit in this pose for a few breaths. Well, no, a few seconds. We know it's coming. On your next inhale, bring your right hand, swing it back towards your right calf. Your left hand comes overhead. We'll stay here in reverse warrior. And then exhale, swing forward, your left hand coming back towards your left thigh. Or you can bring both arms out long overhead. Inhale, swing back into your reverse warrior. And exhale, swing into your extended side angle. See if you can just focus on your core when you do the movement, and hope you can activate your core and kind of move with your waist. Exhale forward. Inhale back. And exhale back into your extended side angle. Arms out long, hold it here. And then exhale, bring your right hand down to the mat, left hand follows. Pivot onto the ball of your right foot and step your left back to meet your right. Take a vinyasa here. So inhale to your upward facing dog, and then exhale into your down dog. All right, so now we're gonna work on our hops and floats and jumping into chaturanga, which is a pretty fun skill to be able to do, and it makes your sun salutations a lot smoother. So here we are in our downward facing dog. You're gonna exhale as you bend your knee, look forward. Actually, inhale and bend your knees, look forward. And then as you exhale, you're gonna press off of the balls of your feet and you press into your hands and spring to the top of the mat. Inhale into your halfway lift. Plant into your hands and exhale and jump back. See if you can lower down into your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, press back into your down dog. Inhale, bend knees, look forward. Press into your hands, spring off your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And then press into your hands, hop back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, bend knees, look forward. Exhale, spring and hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sorry, we didn't need to fold. It felt nice though. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hop back to chaturanga. You can hop back into the top of a plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. I'll talk when we're in downward dog actually. You can hop into a plank, or you can hop and be straight into your chaturanga. So you're gonna try and catch yourself with your elbows in line with your waist. So we'll do that a few more times. So inhale as you bend your knees, and exhale, hop forward to the top of the mat. See if you're trying to press out through your hands and engage your core and kind of pull your knees in towards your waist as you do it. Inhale into your halfway lift, and then plant your hands. And then, so to hop, I like to go onto my tippy toes, and then I'm still pressing into my hands and hopping back. So you can stop here in the top of a plank, or see if you can catch yourself in that chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, bend your knees. And then exhale, spring, press out through your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. We're just gonna do one more, don't worry. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. I keep wanting to fold. And press into your hands and spring back. See if you can catch yourself down low in the chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And then exhale, down dog. Press out through your shoulders. Reach your heels down towards the mat. And inhale, kick your right foot towards the sky, coming into three-legged dog. Rotate your pinky toes towards the ground and kick your heel back and up. Try and keep your hips on one plane, pushing out through your shoulders. So pressing down through the base of the index finger to do that. Pivot your left foot so your heel is kind of going out towards the left side of the mat. And then see if you can lift your weight off of your right hand and come into a side plank here. You can place your right foot down if you'd like, or keep it long. If you want to place it down, then I suggest you actually walk your left foot out a little bit, so then your shoulder is on top of your left hand. But if you want to do the side plank with a leg lift, I like to kind of stay in a bit of a shorter stance. Staying here in your side plank. And then from whichever version of side plank you are, place your right hand back down, kick your right foot back up towards the sky, and pivot into your three-legged dog. When you're in your three-legged dog, your left heel can come up off the mat, and try and keep that flex in the right heel. All right, just like we did with the two legs, we're gonna see if we can do a one-leg hop. So you're gonna bend your right knee, look forward, and then exhale, hop to the front of the mat, and then kick your right foot up, coming into a standing splits here. Again, try and rotate your pinky toes down towards the ground. Bend through your left knee, and as you bend your left knee a little bit, your chest is going to lift up, and your right foot is going to lower down slightly, and then straighten through your left leg. Bring your hands to your heart center and come into warrior three. See if you can check in with your hips. You're probably going to be a little bit higher on your right hip than your left. So try and wrap that right hip down a little bit so your hips become square on one plane. Draw your belly in towards your chest. And then we're going to go into half moon next. So this is why I have a block here. You can have a block or a water bottle, or you can use the ground, but a block actually makes the pose quite a lot easier. So you're going to release your left hand to the mat or onto a block. And then you're going to take your right hand towards your right hip and see if you can kind of open your hip up so your waist is now open to the right long edge of your mat. This will make your toes rotate so they're kind of at a 90-degree angle of where they were, and bring your right hand up towards the sky, coming into a half moon here. So you can have your weight on your block. If you want, you can have your, I'm falling over. You can have your hand on the ground. If you want to really challenge yourself, you can hover your hand. One more breath here. And then exhale as you bring your right hand down towards the mat. Your left hand too, come back into that standing split. And then we're going to do a handstand hop back to chaturanga. So to do this, bring your right foot down and then kick it up and see if you can hop your left foot slightly back when you have that momentum, and then lower down through chaturanga. Keep that right leg lift, so one-legged, and then exhale, press back into downward facing dog. We'll do that on the other side, so hopefully it'll make a bit more sense. Exhale, release your right foot down. Take a breath here in your in your down dog. And then inhale as you kick your left foot up towards the sky, coming into three-legged dog on your left. So try and rotate your pinkies towards the ground, pushing out through the base of your index finger. Taking one more breath here. And then pivot on your right foot. So your right heel comes towards the right edge of the mat. See if you can lift up off of your left fingers and come into that side plank. So you can have your leg lifted, or you can have both legs stacked. Try and push out through your right hand and almost pull your right side body away from the mat like there's a fire underneath you. Hold here in your side plank. And then as you exhale, bring your left hand back towards the mat, pivot back onto the ball of your right foot, and kick your left foot back towards the sky in your three-legged dog. So we're going to one-legged hop towards the front of our mat and end up in standing splits. So bend your right knee, shift your gaze forward, and then exhale, hop towards the top of the mat, kick your right foot up towards the sky, your left heel towards the sky, and coming into that standing split here. Letting your head hang heavy. And then we're going to make our way into warrior three. So bend through your right knee as you lift your chest up, lowering your left leg slightly, and then straighten through your right leg. Bring your hands to your heart center, kick out through your left heel, and find your way into warrior three. Check in with your hips. Pull that left hip down slightly to make sure your hips are on one level. And hold here. See if you can keep it for one more breath. And then exhale as you release your right hand towards the mat or towards your block. And then open up your left hip towards the left long edge of the mat, kind of drawing your left hip towards the sky. Bring your left hand towards the sky and come into half moon pose. If anybody's interested, this is called Ardha Chandrasana in Sanskrit. Ardha means half, and Chandrasana means moon. Well, actually Chandra, and then asana means pose. Taking one more breath here. And then exhale, bring your left hand back towards the mat. Coming into your standing split. And then we'll do our handstand jump back to chaturanga. So lower your right foot slightly, and then exhale as you kick it back and use that spring to step your right foot back, kind of into like a three-legged dog, but then shift forward, lower down to chaturanga, keeping that left leg lifted. Inhale into upward facing dog, and then exhale, press back to down dog, three-legged dog, but find your way into down dog. Take one breath here. Actually, maybe we'll make it 2 breaths. Take 2 breaths here. Inhale as you draw your right knee in towards your chest. Shift your weight forward, coming into knee to nose. Draw your knee in towards your nose. And then bring your right heel onto the outside of your left thigh. Pivot on your left foot. So your left heel comes towards the right long edge of your mat. This will kind of sink your hips down. And then lift up off of your left hand. And you're coming into, it's kind of like a figure 4 twist thing. I like to bring my left elbow towards my right knee. I bring my hand to guard my face. And I sit into this twist. So your hips are hovering off of the mat. You're pushing out through your right hand. From here, see if you can straighten your right leg out long in front of you. And then press into your left leg. Pull your right foot onto the other side of your left leg. I don't know how to explain this very well. You might need to watch the video. And then press it out in front of you. Pull it in, put it in front, and press your hips back towards your heel. Pull your hips back towards your right hand. Set your foot onto the outside of, onto the heel side of your little hole you're making, and press your hips back. Pull it in front. So you're just doing some reps of this. You'll really feel this through your left thigh. Pull it in. One more in the front. One more in the back. Bring it to the front. See if you can grab your foot and press and pull it towards the front of the mat. From here, you're kind of like in a wide stance lunge thing. Just straighten your legs and come up here into standing with a wide stance. So just readjust your legs. Inhale, rise your arms up. Point your toes so they're almost like at a 45-degree angle out towards the long edges of your mat. And then exhale, sink your hips 90 degrees with your arms, cactus arms, coming into goddess pose. Inhale, straighten legs, rise arms up. And exhale, sink into goddess. Pull your heels up off the mat, pressing into your tippy toes. This should work into your calves a little bit more. Inhale, straighten your legs. See if you can stay on your tippy toes. And exhale, sink. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, sink. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sink. Lower your heels down. Place your left hand on your left thigh and reach your right hand towards the sky. Maybe you can lower down your left elbow towards your left thigh and reach your right hand a little bit more overhead. Try and rotate your chest up so it's facing towards the sky. And exhale, straighten your legs, rise arms both back up towards the sky. Pivot both feet, so now they're facing towards the long edge of the mat. Place your hands on your hips, square them towards the front of the mat. Hinge your body forward, and exhale down into your pyramid pose.
I do on my own stance.
What? That was really weird. Take one more breath here. Inhale, halfway lift. Press into your hands. Step your right foot back, top of a plank position. Shift forward, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale into down dog. So we're going to do that all over on the other side. So bending your left knee, bringing it in towards your chest, shifting forwards, knee to nose pose. And then you're going to flex through your right foot. Place your right ankle on top of your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Pivot on your right foot, so your right heel comes towards the left edge of your mat. Come off of your right hand as you sink your hips down towards the ground. Press them back towards your left foot, and then bring your right elbow towards your left knee, hand to guard the face, coming into the figure four twist. Pressing out through your left hand. Take one more breath here. And then take your left foot off of your right thigh, straighten it out behind you. Sink your hips back towards your heel. Pull your body back towards your hand. Switch your foot, place it on the back side, sink your hips. Pull it in, leg in front, sink your hips. Pull it back, leg behind, sink your hips. Inhale, pull it in, leg in front, sink the hips, still hovering. Exhale, pull it back. We'll do two more. Inhale in front. Exhale, press it behind. Press it forward. Exhale, press it behind. Inhale, press it forward. See if you can grab your hand with your foot. Bring it towards the top of the mat. And then come up into standing. Readjust your stance. Bring your feet so they're like a wide stance, hip width apart. Pivot the toes towards the corners of your mat, 45 degrees. Inhale, straighten your arms. Exhale, sink the hips, cactus the arms, goddess pose. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, straighten up. And exhale, sinking cactus, lift the heels up off the mat. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, sink. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, sink. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, sink. See if you can keep those heels off the mat. And then exhale, bring your right hand towards your right thigh and bring your left hand overhead. Getting a little bit of a stretch here. You can also drop your elbow towards your thigh. Taking one more breath. And then inhale, swing it all up towards the sky. Pivot on the feet so they're facing the front edge of the mat. Square out the hips. Inhale here, long, and then exhale, hinge out the hips, fold forward. Coming into your pyramid pose. You can release your hands on the mat. Let your head hang heavy. Wrap that left hip back a little bit. Trying to keep the hips square here. Press into the hands. Exhale, step your left foot back. Top of a plank. Shift forward, lower down. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, back into down dog. On your next inhale, you're going to bend your right foot. So it's kind of like that figure four that we were about to do, but then shift forward, lower your shin down to the mat, walk your left foot back, come into pigeon pose. So lift your chest up towards the sky. Keep a flex in your right foot. You can have your heel in close towards your waist, or if you want more into your thighs, you can just walk it out as far as you want. The closer your right knee is to 90 degrees, the more you will feel it in your thighs. Exhale, lower your body down, maybe walk your fingers forward. Just feel into whatever's comfortable. You can be on your elbows. If you're having trouble here, you can also put a block underneath your right thigh or your right butt, and that will just help stable and level off your hips, which will help you actually stretch into what needs to be stretched rather than kind of pushing you into an uncomfortable situation. So we'll just take one more breath here. And then inhale, rise up. You're going to pivot your hips down and kind of turn your body so it's starting to face your left foot. When you do that, you're going to place your right foot onto the ground. And now your legs are kind of at a 90 degree. Your right foot is placed on the ground and you're gazing over at your left foot into kind of a modified Janu Shirshasana. And then your right knee is going to come down. So it's they're in 45 degree angles, 45 degree angle between your thighs and then between your thigh and your calf. Inhale to lengthen the chest and then exhale, coming forward towards your left heel. Left foot, your left foot is flexed back towards your head. Inhale to rise up. Swing your right foot out in front of you. Reposition yourself, and then we're going to lower our spine down into bridge. Well, we're going to go into bridge. Oh, my clip is in the way. So you're going to walk your knees, your heels in towards your fingers. So your arms are out long in front of you, and your heels are reaching your fingers. And then you're going to press through your heels as you lift your hips up. See if you can draw your inner thighs towards each other and press up and out through your lower back, through your butt. Maybe walk your shoulders underneath you a little bit more. If you have a low bun, you might want to take it out. Exhale, lower your spine down, rolling from the top of your spine and letting your hips land last. Lift your feet off the ground, pull your knees in towards your chest. Straighten the legs out tall in front of you. Bring your hands behind your head. And then we're going to see if we can swing into boat pose. So I like to kick my feet slightly back and then use the momentum to swing my body forwards. You can bring your knees in towards your chest, have them out straight. Roll your shoulders back. See if you can stay here in boat pose. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Now we're going to try and swing and roll our body up into standing. So to do this, I like to roll back and then use that momentum to swing all the way, place my feet down, and then come up to standing. You can try it a few times, and then just find your way into standing at the top of your mat. Inhale, rise arms up, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale, plant your hands, and let's try that hop. Press back, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Maybe dip the hips from side to side. It's our last upward facing dog. So let's use the most of it that we can. I like to dip my hips, it releases into my lower back a little bit more. Tuck toes, exhale, press back into downward facing dog. And then let's go into pigeon on our left. So bend your left foot. So it's in that figure 4, shift forward, lower your shin down, lower your right knee down, walk it slightly back. Inhale, rise your chest up, coming into pigeon, and then exhale, walk forward. You can come down onto your forearms, all the way down onto your chest, your forehead, and there is always that option to put a block underneath your left hip, left butt, to stable out your hips a little bit more. Blocks and props are there to make poses feel better. They're a great tool to use. Just take a few more breaths here. Trying to just release all tensions, not hold your body in any position. Just sinking into the stretch. And then inhale, rise your chest up. You're going to pivot onto your butt, onto your right heel, as your left foot comes onto the ground. And then swing your your left knee down towards the mat. So you're in that kind of zigzag pose, or almost like your legs are making a Z. Inhale, rise up. And then exhale, hinge forward, bringing your forehead towards your right foot. But actually your forehead towards it, but pulling in from your belly. So you're trying to compress your belly towards your thigh rather than pulling around through your shoulders. Keeping that right foot flexed will stretch more into the back of your calf, the back of your hamstring. Inhale, rise up. Swing your left foot out in front of you. Bring your ankles in towards your heels a little bit, or towards your hips. Lower your spine down, and then walk your heels in towards your hands. Press down through your feet, down through your shoulders, lift your hips up. See if you can walk your shoulders a little bit more underneath your body, pressing your hips up, drawing your inner thighs towards each other. If you have a block, you could even put the block in between your thighs and try and hold it there. The more activation you keep in your legs, the easier it's actually going to be on your lower back. That's how you can go like this. If you don't keep the activation in your legs, you're really just crunching and you're not activating your back muscles. Whereas back bends are actually a very strong, active pose. Exhale, slowly roll your spine down, starting from the top of your shoulders, ending with your hips. Draw your knees in towards your chest, and then straighten the legs, kick your heels towards the sky. Swing your feet slightly back, and then exhale, roll into boat pose. So you can have your legs straight. You can have them at 90 degrees. You could even have them your toes just hovering off of the mat. Either way, make sure your shoulders are rolled back. You're not closing off through your chest. You're staying open. Seeing if you can keep that compression in your core. So you're trying to press your core and your belly towards your upper thighs. And then exhale, we're just going to release it all the way onto the mat, into Savasana, relaxing your ankles, relaxing through your hips, taking any movements you need, any adjustments, to just release every single tension from your body. I like to mentally walk myself through my body and just take a second to breathe or relax into each muscle. So starting with your toes, relaxing through your toes, through the arch of your foot, into the heel, releasing through your ankles, through your calves, through the knees, letting your thighs fall, relaxing through your hips, through your waist, through your chest, from your chest to your shoulders, down through your arms, your biceps, your elbows, your forearms, relaxing through your wrists, feeling that spread through each of your fingers, and through your neck, relaxing into your lower jaw, your eyes, relaxing through your temples, through your forehead, not keeping any tension in your forehead. Then just relaxing through your whole body, noticing any tingles or sensations that you might feel. Any ways your body feels different now than it did when you started the practice. Stay here as long as you want. I encourage you to stay longer the better. And whenever you're done, take one last minute, one last breath to thank yourself for showing up and to thank your body for all that it does for you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for practicing with me.